Hello, my name is John Elliott. I'm from Macon, Missouri. Some interesting facts about me is I am a disabled veteran, although I'm trying to get back in the military since my disability was not technically recorded when they discharged me. So that's one interesting fact. If you want to serve two tours in the military, don't have your first injury recorded as your reason for discharge. So this is my second degree, my associates that I'm pursuing. My first degree is a diesel mechanic, which I did most of my work with diesel vehicles. Sometimes I did automotive, but my true passion is with classic cars, which I don't have my uh, an actual degree to do automotive class of work, but I have had the personal teacher of a master ASE technician who was also a relative to teach me and guide me through my early teenage years, which then grew into a passion. So I have currently restored three cars. One of them is a 1976 Datsun 280Z with a 350 Chevy motor and transmission in it. So it's more of a resto mod, but it's still a fun vehicle. I might be able to drive it around one of these days to school. We'll see. And then I'm currently in the process of restoring an 84 Jeep CJ7. So you can tell I love restoring older vehicles. Newer cars, I'm not a fan of. That requires more education and learning processes of learning how to work on those vehicles. In my career life, uh, although I did go to school for diesel mechanic, I didn't actually work in the field more than just 2 years. It just got too bearable for the injury that I received in the military. It's just too painful to work on those vehicles alone, which then defeats the whole purpose of being a mechanic on a massive semi. So I turned my knowledge to doing maintenance. So most of my work is maintenance or logistics. I but as I'm getting older, it's harder to have a job where you work and fix things with your hands and you're constantly on your back, your knees, or you're constantly standing. So the purpose, excuse me, purpose of going to school again is to get a different degree, which will make it to where I'll have to use my mind or my brain to find the answers instead of using my hands to fix. So my first idea was to be an engineer because as being a mechanic, there's a lot of things that we didn't like that the engineers created. They're a mess. It's just a horrible mess. So I figured maybe it'd be a good idea to be an engineer so I can go into that industry and make it simpler and easier for the mechanics who are having to do the tough job of fixing the vehicle and not going, well, why do I have to pull the motor out just to get the filter off? That's really stupid. So that was one idea. We'll see if that comes to pass or not. But I have a couple other passions. I do love plants, mainly trees, and mainly just oak trees. So that's pretty much my only passion for trees is that species of oak. So I have currently 1,500 acorns germinating in my freezer. In a couple of weeks, I'll pull them out and I'll throw in pots, and hopefully, I'll have 1,500 trees in my basement. Just don't tell my dad. He hates my tree garden that I'm putting it into his basement. Don't tell him that, but he's gonna hate me. My current goal is to start another business to where I have a tree nursery to where I can help replant Missouri's forest of the native oaks that we are sadly declining in. I also have a business. I started it with my brother and my father about 6-ish months ago. So the whole business is we have a local Amish family who makes polymer wood outdoor furniture. They had a retailer that they were doing business with earlier in their career, but that guy kind of screwed them over. So we expressed interest in helping them and creating a business. So then we did, and now that's our business. We sell the furniture that the Amish family creates. So that's one business we do, and the second business my dad runs is we drive Amish for a living. So that's if you ever see me wearing odd attire or any type of odd clothing, or sometimes I might say odd phrase, it's probably because I'm trying to learn uh, my common phrases when I talk to my customers, so that when they feel more comfortable getting into my van or my truck, going to their destination. Now, my future goals in life, you know, it's kind of hard because I've already done so much in my life. I still don't know what I want to do, unfortunately. But I would love to have, a business, tons of businesses where I can restore cars, do my nursery, my trees, and all that stuff. But I also want to continue further and go on to a bachelor's degree, either in engineering or in agriculture engineering or in plant science technology, something in that area to where it will fulfill my some sort of desire that I have right now. So besides the mechanical and logistics parts of my life, I also I trained horses for 7 years. A good friend of mine that I consider an uncle, because his real kids didn't want anything to do with him. So since I was the same age as his biological kids, he allowed me to call him uncle. He is not my biological uncle, but I consider him family. He taught me everything about horses, so I became what we call a cowboy break. It's just a cowboy break is the rudimentary levels of training where it's only the point where the horse is halter, bridle, saddle, and rider broke. Just enough to take the horse to the sale barn. So the whole purpose was we would go to the sale barn, buy the horse that some farmer or rancher had that he just neglected and sat in his field for a couple of years. So him and my uncle and I would go to the sale barn, grab those horses, get them real cheap, spend a year getting them broke and ready, and take them back and make a profit. So that was our whole purpose. It was a fun environment at that time because I was a high schooler going into a teenager. So that was a fun environment. Um, Although I have done several more works with livestock. They don't actually own a farm, but my grandparents own a farm, so I just go take a mini vacation and hang out at their farm and play with coyotes and stuff and shoot them and all that. I did mention briefly that I have a failed divorce. So yes, I was married in 2017, and then my marriage ended sometime in 2021. Um, Unfortunately, that's one of the reasons why I do not celebrate Valentine's Day anymore, because my divorce date was finalized on February 14th of 2021. So maybe someone can actually help me get over that problem, but we'll see. So I'm not very fond of it. I don't know of anything else I can share with you guys. Anything that would be particularly interesting or fulfilling. I do say that I'm pretty generous with my time and from my knowledge to individuals, just like the professor. I am a lot older than most of you, um, maybe just by a couple decade or so, whatever. But if you guys ever have any problems with or questions about life, of what it's like to be in the corporate world or in the workforce itself, uh, and you don't want that knowledge, if you don't want to talk to the professor about that, since he's been in a different career than I have, just pop a question. I've been in several different jobs and over the course of my life, and it's just what it is. Um, I can tell you what I enjoyed and what I did not enjoy. It might take some time, but I'll get there eventually. Now, I guess I just now remembered because of my old age. Um, I have traveled the world. My first time I traveled was when I was kinder age. I traveled to I got to live and go to school in a place called Australia. I got to stay there for a grade. I was supposed to stay longer, but because of financing issues, that was not possible. But I got to visit Japan, the Philippines, and Korea. My bucket list to go finish and travel with these countries is I would like to go visit the rest of Southeast Asia, so like China, Thailand, the safer countries like Singapore, um, more areas of the Philippines because I didn't get to go through all of them. I only went to the main city, so I had to go to Port-au-Prince and Cebu and all those areas eventually. And then I like to go visit my heritage, which is in Germany, Dutchland. So eventually, sorry about the coffee and just getting over a little what the Amish call the crud. Every time I feel like I get better, the Amish get me sick again. So don't worry, it's not contagious. Only if you're Amish. I can't think of anything else fun or anything. But if you have any questions, just let me know. Thank you so much for enduring with this fun video that I get to share with you. And have a lovely day.